Okay, right. So I'm going to do a little customization to device that I've got here. DMX King's eDMX 4 Pro. It's a 4 universe ArtNet node. It is fairly cheap. It's $145 plus shipping. They are based here in New Zealand, where I'm streaming from, so that means I was able to get it for a little bit cheaper. I think I paid about $200. Conversion rate is about $200. So yeah, this is it here. Main features: input range from 8 volt to 28 volts, which is one thing I'm going to be using here. I'm going to be putting a USBc port on it. There is the power input right here. See if I can make a bigger picture. No, I can't. Okay, so there's the input port right here, and there's a little wee screw hole, so I'm going to use that as the pass-through and solder some small wires on the back of the device. Sorry, I'm just moving things around on my desk here. So this is the node here. So it's a simple little wee, which way's up? That way's up. Sorry, this is flipped. So yeah, my phone's not straight either, sorry, and lighting here is terrible. But let's try and get this focused. So here's the 4 A, B, C, and D. There's a trigger for remote. There's the main Ethernet input, or output, sorry. Input, output, well, communication port, and there is the voltage. So you can just pull this apart. Sorry, it's a little bit sticky. So on the back here, you've got a micro SD card slot for the little wee grey port for the trigger, and you got the main chip here, which is, I can't really read it. I'm that blind without my glasses. But then there's 4 RS485 chips, and then there's a little wee programming port on the back, which they use to flash the chip here with their firmware, I assume. So yeah, we're going to use these little wee solder tabs right here. Try and get that in focus. This is terrible. Everything's mirrored. So we're going to try and get these 2 little wee ports here. It's a little bit dirty around it, but I don't have any isopropyl alcohol with me to clean it up. I mean, I do, it's in the garage, but I just can't be bothered getting it now that I've started the stream. So we are going to use this little wee USB breakout board. It's running USB-C. The reason why is because we can use the higher voltages, or I wouldn't really call them higher voltages, but the different voltages of USB-C. I'm going to be using the 12 volt option. Hopefully it is enough to provide power, because this board here doesn't require a lot of power, or a lot of amperage. It can run on 1 amp. So what I'm using is this monster of a power bank. It can output, sorry, I just almost dropped something off the desk. It can output up to, what does it say here? USB-C up to, it's 12 volts, 1.5 amp. Which is, and these USBs can also output up to 12 volt as well, but this USB-C is what I want to use, so I can still charge my phone, which uses micro USB. So this here says that it's outputting up to 12 volts, 1.5 amp. It's capacity of 30,000 milliamp hours, so this should hopefully be enough juice to run for what I need when it's fully charged. So I also got a really nice braided USB-C cable that's got a little wee LED light in it, just to show that power is on. So yeah, let's plug this in. Make sure I get it in the right port. So this thing has little wee LED lights. signal what it is. So red is 5 volt, yellow is 9 volt, green is 12 volts, cyan is 15 volt, and blue is 20 volts. So all you do is you simply hold down the little wee button here, and you plug it in, and it flashes. You let go and save to 12 volt. Hold the button once you've got the colour you want, and unplug it. And when you plug it back in, it's on 12 volt. So I am going to grab my multimeter, which is inside my toolbox with a hot soldering iron on top. Very smart, of course. Didn't think I would need it. No, it's not. It's in the other box. I'm inside in my little wee office, and I'm poorly disorganised when it comes to making live streams. And you'll probably find my live stream boring. But this is supposed to be... Okay, so here we have multimeter. Let's see if I can pop that there. So negative. It's very hard to do. Negative, positive, and we're showing 12.1 volt. When it wants to stay still on there, 12.1, 12.2. We can stay still. Okay, so that's the main thing. We've got the 12 volts that we need. So, unplug this, take away the battery bank. Okay, so I've got two little wee short pieces of red and black silicone wire. So, yeah. I am going to pop one of these little wee jacks on the back of the board. On the back of this. And then one of these on the where am I? USBc. So let's start off with one little wee screwdriver. I had it a second ago. Right, so there, piece of cable, what I need. Yeah, perfect. So, wire strippers, strip what I need. I'll try and get it in camera in shot here. Oh shoot, I thought that was my soldering iron moving. The other day I was kind of absent-minded when I went to use the soldering iron, and I put it on my knee, and I had it plugged into the wall, but it was switched off at the wall. My son came in and switched it on. Now, I didn't notice until it started warming up on my leg. Thankfully, I noticed it was starting to get warm before it actually burnt me. It kind of singed my jeans a bit, but hey, what can you do? Accidents happen. Could have been worse. I've actually done worse, though, with soldering irons. Okay, so I don't quite want to put... can I actually zoom in on this thing? No, I can't. That's downside. Okay, so I don't want to put solder on the board yet, because I want to thread on the wires yet. I don't want to tin them. I just want to make sure that... Actually, I will tin them. I will tin them. So I've got Duratec solder wire from JCar. It is 60-40 tin lead ratio. I don't really use lead free. I just don't. Okay. So I don't have any helping hands at the moment. My last set went walkabouts. Last time I lent it to someone and they never returned it. I'll probably but then I pinched their soldering iron. It was new in the packet, so win-win. I don't want anyone telling me about this lead solder fumes, because it's just the resin, the rosin core. I mean, like, yeah, I don't care. I mean, like, I normally use an extraction fan, but I just don't want that loud thing going right now. So, negative into that side, positive to that side. Get them nice and snug. Ow! Oh, they're still hot. Fold them down, like so. Soldering iron back. I'm just going to pop a couple of little spots on here. One thing I'm looking at is RS Online. I'll see if I can quickly find it. Oops, I don't want to open elements to the page. One thing I'm looking at is the standard XLR connector size. You can actually get that, you know how you can normally get Ethernet ones or Ethercon USB for standard USB. I'm going to get one for USBc. So when I make this into a little wee proper enclosure with my DMX 5-pin ports, I'm going to have a proper thing for it. RS Online have got them. I'm just trying to find where it is. I should have been more prepared. Trying to find this listing, but yeah, it's a, pardon me, proper panel mount. That matches up with those rack mount ones. I should have been more prepared trying to find it, but oh well, I'll find it later. So yeah, it's nice and cool now. So I'm going to grab my flush cutters that have actually been abused by so many sort of pins that they are quite, yeah, abused. I'll probably eventually get some newer ones. Just going to lift these up ever so slightly. Trim them flush as much as I can. I'm probably just going to wrap some heat shrink around this when I get some. Dad's got my dad's got them at his place. I had a length of it. He used some of it for his trailer connector. So yeah, that's the USB-C. So that now gives me a little wee output for this board. Okay, so now we're going to use two very tiny red and blacks, very thin gauge. I can't remember what gauge it is. I just pulled it out of my little scrap bin of cables from my projects that I make up. You have to forgive me for my deep breathing. I'm asthmatic, and yeah, just it's how I breathe, just a little bit. A mouth breather. I know some people don't like it, but tough shit. Soldering iron again. Let's tin these wires. It's probably not the ideal thing to be used in the back of the wire strippers, but they are metal. I think from memory, some guy, what does he call himself? Dave, EEV blog or something, or EVV, no, EEV blog. He said that it's just pine resin apparently. Or was that Big Clive that said it's pine resin? I'm just going to pop a couple of extra spots on this here. Couple of spots on the board. Fresh spots of solder. The one closest to the port. So if you're looking from the side, positive is closest to the port and negative's on the outside. So we are going to, whoops, drop my soldering thing. I should have been better prepared with a proper soldering station. I normally just use that one on the road. But I want to do this kind of in time for my next show, which is in September, late September. I'm using some moving heads, lasers, and Fresnels and stuff, park hands. So yeah, let's just move the mouse back out of the way, otherwise I'm going to melt it. Just heat that up just a little bit. Sorry if my head gets in the way, or if you can't see. I am still new to this live stream thing. I don't really do live stream, I really do productions. Here we go. Simple. I think that should be the last of the soldering I need to do. I don't know, this probably wouldn't void the warranty. But yeah. So I'm just, to protect them, I'm just going to pop them through like this, through the little wee screw hole, so I'm not using it. So that way they're not going to move too much. And just try and slide this one through. Just getting a bit tight through there. There we go, let's just make sure that's nice and sturdy. Slide the frame back on it so it keeps it safe. There we go. And pop the other little wee clip over top. Should hopefully sit nicely underneath it. Well, the pins from the program port do, so there we go. Look at that. That's that. Okay. I am now going to launch my eDMX configuration. So yeah, that's those there. Okay. Now, this one. Bit of solder swarf. I don't know if you call it swarf, but a lot of stuff. My computer's now trying to send out to ArtNet. It's not seeing the thing because it's not there. Fold it in half to get good contact. Just going to make sure that we've got a nice wide opening inside here. Oh, nice, perfect. Okay, positive, negative. Now, I should be able to wind that down nice and tight. So with this one here, I should be able to just plug it in with my battery bank, plug it in the back of the Ethernet that I'm doing out to the out to the tech room at this venue. But yeah, that's it. That's it. So hopefully I'll bring in my battery bank again, and yeah, I'll just take this off and solder it back onto the board when I put them into a proper enclosure. So we are going to connect this back up, show the LED, just move those out the way. There we go, plug it in, and we have voltage. Not very snug. Blimey. There we go, perfect. Right, so now I've made a right mess of my desk, but let's plug this in. There we go. She's active. And I'm going to grab the Ethernet for ArtNet. It's just coming out of my router. And we should now see, if I go to here, I'm going to make sure that I have got some data. Just cut to here. There we go. Pole transmitting. It's green on the Ethernet. Transmitted. Let's see if I can close this restart again. I'll just drop it back over here so we can see. There we go. Poll reply. There we go. It's sending ArtNet. So now I should be able to go to here. Magic Q. This is not on my touchscreen, so you'll see where my mouth is. I'm going to go to USB. I am going to go to, where are we? Here. Yeah, set IP address using subnet mask. Yes, it is being received, and DMX is receiving the signal. Well, Chamsys is receiving the ArtNet signal, and yeah, it's now sending and replying to itself through the ArtNet. So yeah, it's working, in all just under 20 minutes. And the materials cost me $5 or less for the board, shipped to New Zealand. So it's $5 New Zealand dollars, probably like $3-4. USB battery bank I already had, but that was like $35 on special. This is like $200, which I already had, so I'm not including this in the price, but this is a $5 modification that anyone can make to have a USB backup for this. Yeah, I mean, like, if you're going to lose power, you're going to lose your lights anyways, but it's just a handy little wee thing to have as backup. If you lose your power supply, you know, you can just now plug this in to a USB battery bank. So yeah, it's a nice little wee mod. I mean, like, it doesn't add too much to it. I mean, like, you can just like now just tuck it like that and pop it in your bag or whatever. My other breakouts that can plug into here are over there. Yeah, so now, I mean, like, it's set to 12 volts and it now runs. So yeah, it's just a short little wee tail. I mean, like, it doesn't add much more weight to it. I mean, like, I don't have scales with me, like those drug dealers have, those precise scales. But yeah, it doesn't add too much weight to what it already is. So yeah, that's it. Yeah, little wee DMX 4-universe node. This is probably the smallest one you can get in the world, and a little wee USB-C to standard power jack. I mean, like, any device now with that sort of size, you can probably give it 12 volts. So probably, yeah. Oh, I've just realised I've been on the wrong screen the whole damn time I've been talking. You see, I'm not a live streamer, but yeah, I mean, like, I'll show you now. See, look, it just doesn't add, whoops, this way. Doesn't add too much to it. I mean, like, that's the mod. I mean, like, it doesn't get any better than that for a modification. So yeah, that's it. Yeah, it's just a little wee modification. And now anything, like even a router with that size jack, you can make like a small wee tail to it. Yeah, I'll show you another little wee. No, I don't have it here. I thought I did. So yeah, you can pretty much, you know, anything that has got that, you can just, I'm going to pop a little bit of heat shrink around this board, so it's a bit more better protected for the road. This is just a temporary sort of thing. This is like a little wee add-on to my Pelican case. When I get my new Pelican case, it'll be thrown in there with a bit of heat shrink. This will be in there as well with some tails. I'm also going to have another one that's going to be in a proper enclosure. I'm probably going to rack mount it with about 3 or 4 of them, because with Chamsys Magic you get up to 32 universes free. I think it's still 32 universes for free. Can't remember. But that's over ArtNet. But I am going to get some blue hardware. I'm going to get the rack dongle, so it gives me full capabilities. This show I've rented a stadium console because I want to, you know, have the full experience. Yeah, I mean, like, very little mess on my desk, so yeah, barely noticeable. Yeah, so that's all I have.